make 2 mistakes to win. Play 4, make the breaks, 1 must always score. If it hurts, you ain't the breaks, we'll get you, don't let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win in. First year game, we're here for the first May. Carry block, you never 6 minutes.
Like I said, like we play with a chip on our shoulder at Tennessee. So, you know, we get a lot of disrespect. So we want to make it clear that we're going to come out and dominate day in and day out.
It's, you know, here it's Tennessee. So, you know, we're going to get the best guys here. You know, that's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. You know, nobody has a spot. Nobody's comfortable. We're all working to get better.
Just look around. You got the mountains. You got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
I guess the X Factor called in sick to work. Like, he didn't even call in. He's just a no-show. Like, I think X thinks he's a celebrity now. Like, he just shows up when he feels like it, doesn't communicate with us.
I think I hurt his feelings. I was rude to him, and I was hating on Tennessee so much that I hurt his feelings.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that you're rude and
I'm a jerk.
That's what I've read.
Damn
several
California liberal snowflake SOB trying to charge everyone $9 for gas. Go back to your dang yacht and Will Smith.
Oh my gosh, the internet! The internet is an amazing place, isn't it?
I love it. I love you all. Go Big Orange, baby.
It's like
Go Big Orange.
It's like you can meet amazing people, and you also meet the worst people in the human race. Like, it's amazing.
It's all good. I'm here for it all. I really am.
You got an opinion? Drop your opinion. If you're an idiot, maybe go somewhere else. Maybe go stream with BVD. Right, BVD? Maybe go stream with BVD if you're an idiot. What's up, BVD? Good to see you in the chat. Who else is here? Who else we got? We got Blitz 621 in the house. What's up, brother? James Bowers is here. Mr. Hunt. Look at Mr. Hunt's name. I know what your name used to be. You changed it. I'm not going to say it, Mr. Hunt, but
yeah.
I am the king of the intros. I like a lot of intros. I get it. Some people complain. Some people don't like it. I do it on a live stream. Hey, let's talk. You guys want to spend an hour and talk about YouTube? We can talk about YouTube. I do it because that gives you guys time to come into the show. So me and Coach aren't talking and nobody's here. Let you guys. It's like church, man. We're playing the organ. You guys are filing in. Man, I'm wearing my Mega Powers shirt. I'm in a good mood. The cream always rises to the top. Yeah. Let's see who else is here. Adam Huckabee is in the house. What's up, brother? Culberson is here. Says, let's go, Josh Dobbs. Guys, come on in. Smash the thumbs up. Share this thing out. Let somebody know we're live. Volunteer drops a $5 super chat. Says GBO. Appreciate that volunteered. There's 136 people watching. 135 people snuck in without dropping a door fee. I will forgive you because it is your night. It is a fan call-in night. You guys are going to get the link here in just a second. We'll get you guys on the show and have a good time talking all things Tennessee football. But, Coach, right out of the gate, we both rewatched the game today. I'm assuming you didn't stay up all hours of the night last night. Any change to your opinion or your mindset? How are you feeling going into South Carolina week?
I think I feel a little bit better than I did immediately after the game. I think everyone's battered Vol syndrome crept in there a little bit with the third quarter we played. But I think I feel better across the board. We still missed some tackles in the back end. I thought we tackled really well in the first half of that game. Going back at it, I really liked that we had 11 hats flying to the ball. With that said, there was some missed tackles there on the back end. Man, this offense is really good when we get off to a fast start. We knew it from the previous 2 seasons, and we're looking for it this year. And gosh darn it, if we didn't see it. I think we had 4 scoring drives yesterday under 90 seconds. I saw on VolQuest. Can't remember which writer put that out, but that's awesome. And what we need to do, this offense is good when it's moving quickly. I think we only had like 1 or 2 offensive line penalties yesterday. That's flipping awesome also. So I do love that. Upon rewatch, I'm really excited about our young linebackers. I want Herring to play a little more under control. He's either too fast out of the cannon and running past the ball at times, or he's too slow out of the cannon and behind it at times. And hey, listen, I think Herring's going to be a really, really good linebacker for us. I think Arian Carter is too, and I'm really excited about the way those young guys are starting to play in pass coverage. Just a little bit quicker on the reaction, but every game that passes is a game that gets a little bit better for Tennessee. So, yeah, we can kind of keep going over. Oh, and another big note, Mincy needs to be the starter at that other tackle opposite of Campbell. It changes this offensive line when he is in the game. He's just a much better football player, much better offensive lineman. And it makes you think, as soon as you get Coop back, can we get some stability along this front line and really get humming? I think the answer is yes. We'll see when we get Coop back. And I got to feel like I keep saying Coop because I called Coop Cade several times over the past 2 weeks. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting him back when we do get him back and solidifying this offensive line because, gosh dang it, Boogie, you could see it. You could see glimpses of this Heupel football team on Saturday. I just hope we get the full movie this coming Saturday. And I'll have a nice seat in the house. So looking forward to catching a ball game in Neyland.
Aiden Stills for 5. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Sunday's not Sunday until Boogie streams. GBO. Appreciate that, Aiden. Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry you had to wait till 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time to get into your Sunday. But, you talked about several things there. Number one, starting fast, right? And I was so deflated, I think, with the defense, almost similarly to the Florida game. Like in that Florida game, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, you can't get off the field. But it was that second quarter, right? It was just that second quarter. The rest of the game, Tennessee played pretty good defense. So that game last night with UTSA, I'm thinking, gosh, the second half was atrocious. That defense was awful. But when you go back and I like I love hype as a coach because right, there's a lot of coach speak and we touched on this last night, but sometimes he tells you what's actually going on. And watching the Heupel show this morning, talking about Elijah Herring, it's like not word for word with what you said, but just aggression, right? He plays aggressive. And when you go to that first drive of the second half, and Tennessee could not get off the field on third down, but they had a couple of opportunities. And one of the times it was Elijah Herring just being aggressive and over pursuing. And it's like it should have been, stopped 2-3 yards short of the first down. They should have been punting. It would have been a 3 and out, I think, at that point. So little things. It's little things that you can clean up. The second drive that they go down and score, Brandon Turnage, broken tackle, lets him house it. And it's like that drive was 4 plays. That was it, man. That's all UTSA got. Two scoring drives. A lot of people in the chat, myself included, last night, I was kind of deflated. I was questioning this defense. I'm coming out of the rewatch saying, maybe this defense isn't as bad as we think it is. And I understand. I know the excuses as soon as I say this. We're 4 games in, 17.2 points per game through 4 weeks. That's 29th in the country in scoring defense. 190 passing yards per game, 111 rushing yards per game. They're playing pretty good defense. And I already know the arguments. They're going to be lined up. The chat's probably throwing them out there right now. It's going to be in the comment section. Yeah, but who have you played? Well, I can't control the schedule. We're a third of the way through this season, and Tennessee's in the top 30 in scoring defense. I think that's pretty good. You mentioned Gerald Mincey. Who was missing? Who was missing? And again, I understand. But all I can talk about is what I can talk about. Who was missing last week on this offensive line? What was the one missing factor when Tennessee all of a sudden couldn't run the football?
Yeah.
Gerald Mincey.
Yeah, yep.
And he's back, and they ran the football for 300 yards.
And Chaney was having penalty problems. He was getting whooped up front all day long. And Mincey's better run blocker as well. So it's not only in pass protection. He's a bit of a mauler when he gets pulling on those counter kickouts, as we saw. Got some help, of course, from the speedster making a couple elite cuts there late. Sampson definitely showed out the other night. But I think you can see how this team can get better. It's like right in front of them. And it's so close we can touch it right now, and we all want it for Tennessee, and I think we can get there. The tackling, I think I saw some kind of statistic like every touchdown teams have scored on us this year, save 2, have had at least 1 missed tackle on the play. And man, you can get better at tackling. Tackling something you can actively do in practice. You just have to do it. You have to tackle and work at tackling in practice to get better at it. I know it seems like quantum physics, but it really is just that simple. Is you have to get out there and practice. You have to hear the pads pop. You have to practice good form and discipline. You can't quit on plays. You got to play aggressive and get all the hats running into the ball and practice in good form.
And it goes back to Heupel talking in the Josh Heupel show this morning. It's like there's a few things you clean up, and all of a sudden, and it's like, man, that first half was 31-0. 31-0. The offense was firing. The defense was firing. Everything was great. You slowed down a little bit in the second half, and then you got things going. I don't know, man. A lot to get into. This is a fan call-in show. The link is out for Talkin VAWLS Elite and Higher. We're going to get a couple of guys on here in just a second. James Lawson for $10. Appreciate that super chat, brother. That is a generous super chat. Says, back from a wedding way deep in Big Blue Nation territory, LOL. James, I'm pretty sure you super chatted yesterday to tell us you were going to a wedding. Did you let them know that Boogie Bentley said that they were making a mistake? That's what I'm here for. I hope you went up to the groom and the bride and said that my good friend Boogie said you're making a huge, huge mistake. And people say, hey, Boogie, I got married on a Friday in the fall. Well, guess what? Eventually that Friday becomes a Saturday. You're still making a huge, huge mistake. Trust me. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. J-Vol 89 for 2. Appreciate that. Vols win by 50 this week if Smokey comes back. Didn't they run Smokey 10? Is it 10? Are they on 11 now? And didn't they run 10 yesterday? Because it was the first time that they've ran through the T. I'm pretty sure. Have you heard any of this?
No.
The new Smokey is apparently terrified of crowds, so they can't get him settled down, and so they've not had Smokey walking the sideline.
They can give him to me. I'll take care of him. He can hang out with me. He can be scared of Coach Jay throwing stuff at the TV when people do stuff they're not supposed to or miss tackles.
But isn't it weird, like the world we live in? It's like this dog is terrified of crowds. Let's train him to like crowds. It's like, how about you just let the dog go live its life?
Yeah.
Like,
go on to Smokey 12, right?
Right. Yeah,
that
was my mindset. It's like, can we not just get another dog? Like, do we have to? No, we're gonna. You're gonna learn to love.
You're gonna man up.
Yeah,
little Smokey pup.
Yeah. Enough of this.
Afraid of crowds. Good.
Soft. Yeah. Get Jocko out there to train him, right? Parker Townsend for $20. That is not cheap. Says, go Vols at the Bammer in-law. So I can't join, but here's 20. Parker, I want you to walk up to your in-laws, and I want you to tell them that Boogie Bentley hates him. And they're going to say, who is that? And they're going to say, exactly. Thank you, Parker, for the $20. Enjoy your time with family, my man. Appreciate the super chat. Ollie, how do you, Tabooger? I don't know how to say that. For $5, thank you for the super chat. It's weird how we all fall in love with the deep ball at some point. Felt like there was 1 point. See, I still can't read. I couldn't read last night, can't read tonight. Felt like there was 1 point where we threw the ball deep 7 plays in a row. You know, that's something, too, on rewatch. Like, you're just in the moment of the game watching it live. And I felt like in the post-game show, people were like, all we threw was bubble screens. And I'm like, did you watch the second half? Because all we did was throw it deep. Like, they took so many shots in the second half. I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it.
We're averaging like 6.8 yards a bubble screen this year, by the way, which is an insanely good number. Now, I will say this. It has to be done in moderation, because when you do it too much, the one time you do have that one, it can kind of be in an obvious situation where you need that 7 yards. So it's like you run it a couple times for a first down, that's great. And then you go to run it that next time, and it's 3rd and 7 and you only get 6, you're still yelling, why are we running so many bubble screens, right? I think there's been a lot of that going on that play, or definitely a bit of it going on, I should say.
I got to pull this up real quick, and then we're going to we got Bob and Rocky Top Tom in the back. Joey, get back in here. Joey left. Joey was waiting. He's like, okay, Boogie's not going to bring me on anytime soon. I'm out. Joey, get in here, and let's talk some Tennessee football. Power T says we played nobody yesterday. Shout out, Power T. You remember the channel. Appreciate you. You're always watching the videos, watching the live streams. Appreciate the support. But I like, am I crazy? And let me go ahead and get these guys on here for this too. Am I crazy that, you know, we heard all offseason how good UTSA was, and it was going to be a battle, and it was going to be a fight. And Boogie, it's a scary game we could lose, and I'm screaming how we're going to beat the brakes off of them. You go beat them. You go cover the spread, do what you're supposed to do. Now all of a sudden, UTSA sucks. And I know they had a lot of guys hurt. I always know what your counter arguments are going to be. But am I crazy, Rocky Top Tom, for saying that?
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So we proved yesterday we can beat somebody that's really not. And we did well at beating somebody who's really not. But the fundamentals, definitely fundamentals. Bob and I were talking about that earlier in the chat. They got to get better at blocking and tackling. The offensive line's still standing straight up half the plays. They're standing straight up on the snap. And they're beating UTSA or UVA or barely beating Austin Peay because of their positioning or their size or their natural athleticism. That ain't going to cut it playing South Carolina, A&M, Alabama, Kentucky. I mean, that stretch right there, the next 4 games, you guys were talking about it in the last video. It's going to be murder. If we don't get the fundamentals together, it's going to be murder. But they did well beating UTSA. I was happy. Bob even asked me, are you happy about anything from the game yesterday? And I said I was glad that the fans showed up, because I'm Mr. Negative, right? Mr. Realist.
I turned you into that. You used to be so positive. Hey, I brought you down into the dumps with me.
Quit being rude and hurting people's feelings, right?
I know, right?
Tom,
yeah.
What the heck's wrong?
I got something.
Yeah. What you got for yesterday? Tell me about it.
Here's the thing. One thing I did notice, and somebody said in the after game show yesterday, and they said it in chat, that halfway through the third, half the crowd was gone. I'm sorry, when the second half started, half the crowd was already gone. From what I could see, looking at the upper level, it was half empty.
That ticked me off.
That really, and people don't realize this. And I mean, it's their money to spend. If they want to leave halfway through, I can't stop them. But you're not showing up your team from kickoff to the final whistle. And I think that had a lot to do with the third quarter. I'm going to say it because the crowd has a lot to do, especially in Rocky Top, especially at Neyland Stadium. You've got to have that crowd behind you. That's what boosts us up, and that's what actually pushes them down. It takes away their momentum.
Hype actually even mentioned that in his show this morning. He said, you know, you go in the locker room, you come out 31-0, the crowd's kind of not into it. He always praises Neyland Stadium, the Tennessee fan base. I thought it was very interesting that he said, you know, the crowd was kind of quiet when we came out to start the third quarter. It's tough, man, and it was the way the first half ended was so just weird, right? It's with Milton getting hurt, and then Nico's in the huddle, and then Milton runs out of the tent. He's like, "No, I'm going back in." And then the coaching staff was weird with play calling. It's like, all right, we're just going to run the clock out, but then you get a random face mask on an offensive lineman, and you get 15 yards. Now you're at midfield. It's like we're going to take some shots. Very, very strange ending to the first half. And then it just felt like they never really recovered until there was like 5 minutes left in the third quarter by the time they kind of got settled back in and started playing football.
Well, the thing is I looked at it. I was watching it, and I heard it on a couple of shows that I watch, you know, all saying the same things as you just said. And that's what I don't understand. I think they were, even though Joe was, trying to appear unhurt, I think he was hurt more than what they were showing. I think they were just trying to show him, hey, we can still play. We still got our quarterback. We're good to go. And I think that's kind of what kind of pushed some of the people out of the stands and sent him home. It's like, well, hell, he just got hurt, but yet he's out there. So we're not going to see Nico. We're going home. Because half that crowd's there waiting to see Nico. Half the crowd's waiting to see that Nico.
It never used to be that way in Neyland. I'm telling you.
I know.
Spoiled. We used to be spoiled coming off the 90s, but we never left early. And I'll tell you right now, sitting in that stadium in 2004, after we had just beaten Florida, Ainge's freshman year, all the magic is happening. And then we lose to Auburn. What was it, 28-7 the next week? We never left early, or maybe it was even worse than that, but we never left early, man. And that was when we were losing, not when we were winning 31-0 at halftime. That's kind of concerning.
I was at the game yesterday, and the stadium was pretty full all the way up until the end. That
was
nobody, nobody actually left.
Though? Was it quiet?
It was quiet. Yes, I will say that it was quiet.
Well, Joey, if you go back and watch go do a rewatch online because Ball Freak has got it up. Go watch it, and you'll see at the start of from the start of third quarter on, half of Neyland Stadium was empty.
Yeah, it looked bare in spots.
The new section, that they built for the down in the lower stands, that was it.
He gone.
He's gone.
Well, I mean, I was talking about upper level was empty.
It's not Gatorade, is it? Please tell me it's not Gatorade.
Okay, my fault. No, the lower premium seats that they just built this year, those were pretty empty.
BVD said like most of the students left at halftime.
No, from what I could see, it was still pretty full over there.
I want to go back. Well, actually, let me hit some super chats. Then I want to bring something else up that's floating around the internet. Donald for 5, appreciate that, brother. What is your recommendation for the defense against South Carolina? I watched the Mississippi State versus South Carolina game last night. Concerned that is on. That's my homework for tomorrow. I did the rewatch of the Tennessee game today. I'm going to watch that South Carolina Mississippi State game tomorrow. So all I'm looking at is numbers and statistics. But spoiler alert for a big narrative that I'm going to run with this week. Tennessee leading the SEC with 229 rushing yards per game. South Carolina dead last with 75. So I get it. Spencer Rattler made some plays. I think from what I've seen, he played dang near a perfect game yesterday.
Yeah, I posted did anyone see the line for the game yet?
Is it like 11?
It is.
11 and a half.
It's minus 11. And I think that line will tighten up and end up probably around the
it'll be 6.5, 7.
Yeah, we'll end up around 6.5, 7. I watched South Carolina's game too yesterday. I wasn't really that impressed with it, Mississippi State, to be honest with you. And I thought South Carolina got beat deep quite a bit. I think I think South Carolina's got a lot of strength in their defense and a lot of big guys, but I don't think they're the fastest defense out there. So I think we can beat them with a foot race in a lot of positions, whether it be Thornton or Squirrel or whoever it may be. As far as what kind of defense I would run, I want to see. We've talked about a lot. I want to see this defense be aggressive and multiple. I want to see a lot of like nickel, like proud bear blitzes where you've got both your linebackers swinging through looping D linemen, where you have corners replacing and mixed coverage zones. A lot of like overload 3-seam blitzes, just multiple in general. I want to see a lot of multiple man and zone mix blitzes. I don't want Rattler to get a read on us, and I want to bring pressure while protecting against the throw.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to see any of this weak defense. This weak line defense, especially in the secondary. Secondary is going to have to step it up, or Rattler's going to have a field day with us.
Why? Hold on a second. Hold on.
And so does the defensive line. To be honest with you, they got to keep their feet moving, because I'll tell you what, they lost. They looked okay in a couple of spots yesterday, but they got to keep their feet turning.
There were a couple. There was one play in the first half, Rocky Top Time. I don't know if you saw it, but West drove back straight down the field, like 12 yards, blown off the ball, and pancaked on a big run up the middle.
Probably saw it 5 times, but I didn't. Yeah, but I watched the game.
It was West that it happened
3
to.
times
Yeah,
yesterday,
and I mean, in fairness, he lost his footing on the play, but you still got to recover. At the very least, just sit down. It would have stopped the play too, because the ball was right behind him. Yeah.
What I liked about the whole situation, there was no chance for Nico in the stadium.
Hold on a second, Joey. I'm going to talk everybody off the ledge in just a second, but the chat is dying to know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Yes.
Are you feeding venomous snakes?
Yeah, are you?
And first of all, shout out for the shirt. I'm a T-shirt junkie. I love the shirt.
Oh, yeah, no, I love my Tom and Jerry's.
Yeah, man. Tom and Jerry.
That's a great shirt. What are you doing, Joey?
I am feeding my snakes.
Wait, hold on a second.
I knew you were feeding.
Wait, what do you run a pet store? What is happening? Why do you have that many snakes?
This is down in my garage. I've got 28 ball pythons.
Oh my God!
What is happening right now?
So how much in super chats for you to start sending those to South Carolina football players?
Oh, that's great.
Why do you have that many snakes? I'm sorry.
I love the chat. I breed them.
I love Tennessee football. We're going to talk football, but look at this. Joey is a psychopath.
This is my blue-eyed Lucy. See her pretty blue eyes?
Wait, so is that like an albino snake? What is it?
No, it's a leucistic.
Gorgeous.
It's a leucistic. It's a leucistic snake. Yep.
Kelly says,
I'm sorry I ever disagreed with you, Joey. I think you have a beautiful football mind, and I love all of your opinions.
He might be a serial killer.
Oh. Hang on.
No, Joey's an OG. Dude, Joey's been supporting this channel forever.
No,
and we finally tricked him into coming on NCAA night. And he's like, man, that was fun. I'm going to have to do it more often. So we bring him back on for a regular fan call-in, and he's feeding murderers. Murderers. Those are killers.
Snakes are cool, man.
What is
Snakes are
happening?
cool.
But no.
Right, let me get back.
Each one of these tubs have snakes in them.
So why are you putting water in? I can't get focused. Why are you you just dump a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan?
Yeah, no, I mean they have water bowls. I just give them fresh, clean water.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued right now. The chat is like, shut up and talk football. I'm like, this is so I just watched the video yesterday. Like, Facebook Reels, you watch one thing, it's like you watch one snake video, and then you see snakes murdering people for the next 13 days.
Yeah.
This gigantic python just... Oh, wait. Will we get banned if I show that? Can I show a snake eating that?
I think the snowflakes will melt, Doug. I think they're going to melt, man. They're going to melt.
Oh, this is so well. The chat is lost.
This is wicked, though. Come on, Joe.
Hang on, let me find one. I just threw one in there.
Rebecca says I'm horrified. Joe says, oh, my gosh, eat the snake.
Oh.
See, this is what I love about this platform, man. This is what I
Yeah.
love right here. You never
Oh
know.
my gosh, it's dead.
Oh
No, it's not. It's not dead. It's eating.
Not the snake's not dead. The rat. Oh, it's going to bite you. All right, all right.
And that's what we want to see out of our defense.
Don't mess
That's what
with
we want to
another
see out of our defense on Saturday.
Oh.
Let's
Eat 'em up.
okay. That was a whole that may be that's I've not had that much fun. Isaac Owens. I love this show.
That is
Let's
This
focus.
is my baby girl. This is my biggest one I've got.
There you go.
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, Joey, I got to get with you later because I love snakes. I had two boas, common boas. One was just a regular common, and the other one was an albino. And I had to let it go before I moved. So I got me a place. I need some more snakes.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Well, I don't do the big snakes. The big snakes my wife won't let me have.
Oh,
All
those
right.
And they're
aren't
just
big.
they're big.
Those aren't big snakes at all. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are
Okay,
bad.
everybody take a hold on.
Yeah, like J-Lo Anaconda or what?
Everybody calm down. Let me read some
Right.
super chats. And I'm going to try to get this thing back on track. I don't even remember what I was going to say at this
Yeah,
point.
let's snake this
I
thing
do.
back
I
onto
know what
the
I'm going to say.
other side of the ball.
Kane Wyatt becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Hey, Kane,
Welcome.
if you want to jump on the fan call-in shows, you're going to have the opportunity. If you have snakes or alligators or crocodiles, you can show them off right here on the channel, but we appreciate that support. You guys like the content, the live streams, videos, whatever it is. If you hate Coach J but want to support Boogie, hit the join button down below for $1. You got $1 in your pocket and you say, I want to support Boogie, you can hit that join button. We would greatly appreciate it. So thank you, Kane, for that. Cleats in the ground, number 98 for 2. That's a great name. Wait, he says we're in trouble this upcoming weekend. I'm going to talk you guys off the cliff in just a second. Hold on a second. Ollie for another $5. A small We Want Nico chant started in section X during the third. You couldn't hear it on TV, and that's what's important to me. Parker for another 2. I want to feed Brew and Castles on third downs. I am falling more and more in love with McAllen Castles.
Yeah, me too.
He's a baller. He's one of those guys. I wish we had him for 2 or 3 years. But
Yeah,
he can be
he
gone.
looks good. Brew had a great block on that 81-yard run, by the way. You guys, I don't know if y'all caught it.
Oh, that
You know who else
81-yard.
blocks well downfield or from the wide receiver position is Dante Thornton. As much as we talk bad about him, but I think if you're going to play wide receiver in this offense, you're going to have to block. Period. There's no questions asked. Timothy McGee, 5. Maybe we need to go wishbone and anything in the 20-yard line with our running backs. We do have a healthy stable of running backs. Marvin Johnson becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Marvin. We appreciate that. All right, we're caught up. I'm going to talk you guys off a ledge real quick. Vegas knows what they're doing, right? And I said this the Florida week, so maybe I've already screwed myself right out of the gate. Why is Tennessee favored by 11.5, right? Going to play against South Carolina. And I know everybody's talking about what Spencer Rattler did. What if we beat Mississippi State by a touchdown? What if we beat Mississippi State 37-30? How would this fan base feel? How would you feel? Would you be saying, oh, man, did you see what Joe Milton did? He dominated Mississippi State. No, you'd be saying it was Mississippi State. Who cares? We got to get ready for the next one. It's like South Carolina got beat by UNC 31-17. They beat Furman. Who cares? They played Georgia close. I think that's the one that has a lot of people scared about South Carolina. And then they beat Mississippi State by a touchdown. South Carolina's defense sucks. You know, Coach said they're big, physical, but they're slow. This could be a shootout. And if it's a shootout, are you guys confident in Tennessee's ability to score? I'm feeling more and more confident. Maybe my mind will change tomorrow when I watch that Mississippi State game.
Georgia didn't even take off this last weekend until the middle of the second quarter, almost the third, and almost halftime before they took off.
Yeah. Coach Jay, you're muted. Yeah.
Georgia, I don't know if they're just disinterested or what, but they haven't looked like they looked. Let's put it that way. It's kind of a simple statement.
You know who South Carolina reminds me of? Us. Oh. They don't play well when they should, and they do play well against who aren't quite so great, and they need that confidence going. Like their offensive line that first game against North Carolina, they didn't protect Spencer Rattler at all, and he still did what he did. He did that against us last year, and he made our defense look like some JV team. But they get up, and then they're down. They're just like us. We didn't get up for that Florida game. We thought we could just show up, and if we do that against South Carolina, I will be there. Coach Jay, I think you'll be there.
Yep, we'll be in the house. I'm in
Dobber will be there.
X1 or something like that on the Yeah, I think X won. I'm
The
not
post game
positive.
show will be me and X looking at each other saying, I wish there was somebody here that knew something about football. Should be great.
Hey,
Make
I'll
sure you
use
guys
my
tune in.
cell phone to live stream it from the stadium when we're leaving. If we win on Saturday, I will live stream it from my phone for the post game. I'll do it. If you send me a link, I'll do it.
But I need
I'll
you
stay
to
in
run on the
stadium.
field. I need you to run on
Yeah.
the field and hold your phone up and say, Talkin VAWLS Network
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Maybe if Auburn can get different
Sorry,
views
man.
of them getting tackled by security,
Yeah.
it'll be great.
From the
Yeah.
stands, right? You guys stay in the stands and get those shots of Tom. What's up,
There you
Rocky
go.
Top Rules? How you feeling? Has your mindset changed since last night? You confident? Are you scared of South Carolina like everybody else is? Maybe I'll be an arrogant prick all week and just say we're going to beat the brakes off of them.
No, I'm
By
not scared
City.
of them. I'm not scared of them. They're they got the Vols got revenge on their mind coming from last year, and I think that first half really set the tone of how the energy of what this team, the potential it has. And I think they just build off of that. I know third quarter wasn't pretty, but I thought it looked good the other night. But at the same time, we had some things that we got to clean up. But everybody has things they got to clean up every week. So I'm looking forward to Saturday, and I'm hoping we run into Neyland ready to go and blow out South Carolina.
Hope so.
Is that when you guys will gain confidence?
No.
Because I don't feel like this fan base gained any confidence from the UTSA game. I feel like everybody's still nervous, skeptical. Rocky Top Rules just said, things you can clean up every week. I feel like we've been saying that for a month now, and we have. So, we go into South Carolina. Let's say Tennessee goes and beats South Carolina by 10 or by 2 touchdowns or 17. Are you going to be confident going into Texas A&M, or is this entire season just going to be, what are we getting
Week
this
by
week,
week.
man? Yeah.
Yeah,
Week by week.
Week by week.
They're up
me,
and
it's-
down, hot and cold. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to see that consistency. I start seeing consistency. I don't care who we beat. As long as we see consistency, I don't even have to have blowouts. As long as I see them playing consistent, my level of trust will come up.
If we start the game like we did in 21 and run off 28 in the first quarter, shit, I'll be hey, let's go beat Bama. I mean, let's go do it. Hey, if we come out and rattle out 28 in the first quarter, hey, let's go. Let's get this thing.
Well, the thing is, for me, from what I have seen of all the other SEC teams so far this year, if we play the game that I know we have the players to play. If they came and played and they kept true to the fundamentals and they did their jobs, there's not an SEC team that could beat us.
No, not at all. I mean, after watching Alabama almost get beat yesterday by Ole Miss, and then Arkansas, did they win last night?
LSU won.
LSU beat them.
Came up a little short. Yeah, just a little short.
So, I mean, yeah, I think,
let me draw an analogy to Notre Dame last night. They played well. Their defense played really well, but their offensive line killed it, okay? Ohio State blitzed them a lot last night. I watched that whole game twice, and Ohio State blitzed them when they ran the ball a lot. If we could do stuff like that with our offensive line, the way we did last year, where we run the football and we establish the line of scrimmage and you don't give up that line, period, and you've got it all game, and like Bob just said, the consistency, you show that consistency on the offensive line against Carolina and A&M, and we do win. And then it's looking pretty good going into Tuscaloosa, but they got to do it. They got to establish that offensive line. They got to keep their butts low, and they got to fire off the football. There was a play where we had a dive for a yard on a touchdown, and our right tackle got blown off the ball like a hand grenade. I mean, he absolutely got decimated, and we still got it because it was UTSA. You do that against Carolina, you're done.
Now, Crawford has had 3 straight awful weeks. I don't think he should be on the field. I mean, it's bad. Watching the film.
You popped in a little late, Rocky Top Rules. We were talking about that earlier when it was just me and Coach Jay. Who'd you have back this week? You had Gerald Mincy back. When did you struggle to run the football? And I know you played Florida, but you struggled when Gerald Mincy wasn't on the field. You got Gerald Mincy back against UTSA. You ran the football for 300 yards. I swear I think Cooper's back this week. I think this week we've got our full offensive line, and how much does that impact and help this offense? What's up, Robert? How you doing, buddy?
Ollie Lane will move back over to guard, won't he?
I don't know. I've been defending Andrej Carrick. I didn't really pay much attention to him this week. Let me scroll up. And I know not everybody loves –
he stands up a lot. He really does. He stands up a lot, and he's late to fire off the football.
He graded out as the lowest offensive player on PFF, 53.7 on 60 plays this week.
Well, here's the thing, Tom. You said something about them standing up on the offensive line. Have you not noticed them doing the same thing on the defensive line? They're coming up above the offensive line. It's both sides of the ball. They're staying too high. They need to get down lower and get underneath.
I coach kids just like that. They think that just because they're bigger and more athletic than the guy across from them, they can do this thing like you ever seen Rams fight on the Nature Channel? They get up and then they go down with their, whatever the hell yeah. They think that they can do that, and they're just going to power people over. They're not going to do that. You come up against South Carolina, Texas A&M, you go to Tuscaloosa, you commit 9 pre-snap penalties like we did against Georgia last year, you're going to get crushed. But if they show up and they establish the line of scrimmage, they keep their butts low, they'll be all right. They do what last year did and drive with your legs under you and keep your butt low. Yeah,
I mean that's just football, gents. It's the lowest man wins always.
Yeah.
Period. End of discussion. You get low, you get under those pads, you push them back. Period. End of discussion. Doesn't
needs to chin and grind. Yeah. I mean, needs to chin and grind.
Absolutely.
Why was UTSA allowed to substitute so much?
I read this.
Why does anybody get to substitute over us?
I read this on VolQuest. There's some rule where if say the tight end catches the ball and he goes out of bounds on your sideline, that they give them time to make sure that you don't substitute. It's like, well, hold on, what? Yeah. It's because your guy is out of bounds on your sideline. They're making sure that same guy comes back, so they're giving them time to make sure that they don't need to allow the other team to substitute. It's the stupidest. Brent Hubbs commented on that today and said, I still can't find the rule. I'm trying to find if it's a rule or if it's a suggestion.
I'm calling BS because I don't see them giving Tennessee time to substitute on their defense when their guy goes out of bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at Joe Milton. Joe Milton threw his hands up in the air.
He was ready
numerous
to go.
times. Like, what is going on? What are we doing?
Yep.
And then when Nico comes in, he gets a 15-yard face mask pulled on him. I mean, that was blatant, and they snatched his head around. That's a 15-yarder right there, and almost an ejection.
Have you seen
the picture in this call of the game? Period.
Have you seen the picture from behind the official that's looking right at it? I mean, he's looking right at it. Let me catch up on Super Chats real quick. I love the conversation. I love the fan call and show. I love that I can sit here and just listen to you guys talk. I'll be a fan tonight. Justin Hicks for 10. Can we do a Talkin VAWLS tailgate one game this season? You can do it this Saturday because Coach Jay's going to be down there. Dauber's going to be down there. I don't go to games. Somebody has to hold the fort down. Everybody else gets to take vacation. Like Coach Jay just paid trip, right? I'm paying for his flight.
I'm out of here.
I bought his tickets. I paid for his hotel room. Everything that he's got is on my
hotel. He can't sleep at your place.
At me, Coach Jay. I'm telling you.
I don't live in.
I'm going to be down there. Maybe
there you go.
No pressure, Coach. I just put you
on
the spot.
I'll have to settle on a night. Either Thursday or Friday. I'll be out at Calhoun's, that's for sure. And then, of course,
it's going to be a Talkin VAWLS
all game day. So
it is going to be a talk. If you put that in the public eye, he's saying it now. We're going to go off air, and he's like, "Boogie, I'm not telling anybody."
I heard Friday, Calhoun's. Let's go, baby.
I'm telling him Thursday, but I'm going Friday. No, I wouldn't do that, y'all.
Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. That's why I don't. Look, this is my career now, right? Treat it like a hobby, get paid like a hobby. Treat it like a job, get paid like a job. I'm here to make money and support my family, so I don't commit. I'm committed to doing the post-game show, so we probably won't do a tailgate. We're talking about doing a meet and greet at a local bar up in the Tri-Cities. They want us to come do something. It would be we would do a pregame show, and even with Coach Jay being out in California, it would be just the same. It would be set up on StreamYard. Me, Dauber, probably the X Factor would be live on location. We could still get Coach Jay to come on and be on StreamYard. That's something that's in the works. If you guys want it, let me know. We'll make it happen. I said the other day, I'm going to have to go spend about $500 on a laptop just to do a meet and greet, but I'm willing to do that if that's what you guys want. Like, it's worth it to me to spend that money, invest back in the business. That's why I've got this stupid gaming PC. Invest in the business because you guys give me the opportunity. I'm blessed to do what I do. Parker Townsend for 5. If we start out strong, I don't think we take our foot off their necks the whole game. We will be out for blood next week. It's going to be a hostile environment, too. That's what excites me about the South Carolina game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Hypo's going to be preaching it, but we're going to be preaching it. It's going to be dark mode. It's going to be late. Everybody's going to be fired up, ready to go. Lonnie Allval Williams becomes a member of the channel. I saw he put in the chat, OG Lonnie. Mm-hmm. Watching Joey feed the snakes is funny. Old school Talkin VAWLS. Lonnie was in the chat and went on his back deck, saw a deer in his backyard, shot it from his deck, tracked it, and it was breaking news in the chat the whole night. We were following Lonnie as he tracked this deer, and it was like, prove it, Lonnie. And he sent us a picture of the deer in the back of his truck. That's the type of stuff we do here. That's the beauty. Like, we can do whatever we want. I know Lonnie said, where's JP? He misses JP. The OGs miss JP. Here's the deal. Breaking news. He just sent me a text. JP, post-game show this Saturday. He is in. So make sure you guys come hang out for the post-game show. Myself, the X Factor, JP, and spoiler alert, Dustin Sellers. You guys see him on the fan call-in shows all the time.
Oh, cool.
Dustin is going to be jumping on for the post-game show as well. So it's going to be me, X, JP, and Dustin on Saturday night. It'll be fun. I'm glad JP is willing to do it. Everybody that says, man, where's JP? He's so emotional. He doesn't want to do the post games. He wants to do the Wednesday shows when he's available. I get it. I understand. JP can do whatever he wants, man. He's a godfather. I love JP. He's like a brother to me, man. Raven Gaming for 5. Dorfy, let's beat the Roosters. Thank you, Raven, for the Dorfy. Appreciate that, brother. Timothy McGee for 5. Devil Advocate, is this the same team as 21, 22, 23? Didn't we lose players to the draft? It's still a 5-year rebuild. I think last year did spoil us. We all knew we were going to take a step back this year, but we still want to go win, 9 football games if we can. But thank you, Timothy, for the super chat. Wade for 2. I'll be there tailgating with Dauber. Awesome, man. Awesome. You'll see Coach Jay. Coach Jay and Dauber are going to hook up. Hope you guys get to put a I was going to say a face to a name, but I guess they already see your ugly face every day, like they do mine, Coach. So it's so everybody's like, Boogie,
it's
why
a little
you
worse in person? So
why you hide behind that microphone, Boogie? It's because I'm ugly. Like, why are you a grown man worried about what I look like? I don't know.
Y'all be good. I'm at 2%. I'm about to die. My battery.
Later, Joey. Appreciate you jumping on, buddy. A lot
Later,
of fun.
Joey.
Later, y'all.
The kid, Elijah Allen for 5. I'll provide the music at the meeting. Hey, that's actually not a bad idea, Elijah. I could probably set that up. And I know I said this last year. I need to do that for you anyway. I need to get you booked at that bar because I got some pull. Old Boogie's got some pull in that bar. We could get you some type of gig. I know I said it last year and I dropped the ball because I always drop the ball. I'm lazy and I apologize. Shannon DeCannon for 10. Officiating across the board is bad. I watched several games with missed bad calls. GBO. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon DeCannon, what do you think about kicking or deferring to the second half? Like, what do you want to do? I need to know your opinions on deferring to the second half, Shannon DeCannon, because I've not seen it enough. But thank you for the $10 super chat, brother. Appreciate that. All right. I don't know where we're going from here. I got so derailed and sidetracked.
How about our offense and our defense are both in shape? Our offense and defense both have to get in shape. There's guys with their hands on their hips. They're not ready to be in this Josh Heupel offense, especially on the O-line. They need to get into shape. They need to start popping pads in practice. They need to start hitting each other, and they need to get into shape.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll second that with, look at Nico. Nico was out there not ready to run that high-paced, high-speed offense. All these fans out there that are saying, oh, put Nico in, put Nico in. Yeah, I'm gonna cause a controversy.
You got to give me reasons he wasn't though.
Context, context.
I see that differently, to be honest. I mean,
so
okay,
his pass to Nico.
Let Robert talk. Let Robert get his point out.
I want his opinion.
Hey, Robert, this is how I feel every day, bro. Welcome to the party. Get your point out. Get your full point.
So you look at Nico. He goes out first series. Throws a couple of incomplete pass. They try to run the try to run the fast pace offense. He just looked like he wasn't in sync. He looked like he wasn't ready. Like, I think if you give this dude first team reps in practice and you give him first team reps in the game, he'll be okay. But if you're running with the second team, he does not look great. Does that make any sense? Like,
I agree. Like behind the third string offensive tackles, that didn't look right. Right. When your pocket collapses in both places, it doesn't look right. The two passes, I thought he completed two passes. I mean, he hit Thornton perfectly in the diamond on a dime on the first one, and then hit an out route that got called off because of a holding call. So to me, he looked money on, spot on, and then his pocket collapsed. So I think Nico was just fine personally. Now, I will say this, like kind of with what they were doing in the scheme of things, it wasn't a real look under the pretty girl skirt, if you know what I mean. It was kind of just staring at her ankles and wondering what she looks like. So
this is interesting. Kenny,
we will.
Where are you at, Kenny? You're a member of the channel. Get in here and argue with Coach Jay. I'm here for you guys yelling at Coach. Yelling at somebody besides me. That's what I love.
Yeah, I got one more thing that affected the game bad was the tempo. When we started off the game, first two quarters, we had our tempo back. We were kicking ass, and then soon as Milton gets that knee, when he comes back out, tempo was gone, and it didn't come back in the second half either.
And I mean, honestly,
and I think that had a lot to do with it.
Like, I honestly wonder if Coach was like sitting there trying to protect him, or if it was
what I think.
Like he's hurt and it's a Nico show in South Carolina. Who knows? I mean, we won't know anything until
he's hurt. Why not play Nico?
No, in my humble opinion, I think it's not protecting Nico; it's protecting Joe.
I think you're right, Joe. Jay.
I really do believe that, guys. It's my belief. And,
I mean, I can agree with.
I keep saying I want Joe to succeed, but the way they ran Joe out there, didn't give Nico a shot with the ones. It showed a little bit of scaredness to me. And now I'm with the coaching staff. Just for the complete record, I'm with the coaching staff. I said at the beginning of the year, I think Milton should be the guy right now. But to me, it shows a lack of confidence in him that you have to sprint him out there just because you don't want the fans to see the alternate quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Nico had his helmet strapped up, ready to go.
Oh, he was going in the game.
Yeah. And if you're
ready, he was.
And if you're just trotting out there to hand the ball, and if you're just trotting on there to hand the ball off, then why does it matter? And that's kind of my whole point of the thing.
Let me say this though.
I
wish. Well, now I'm going to cut you off and him off. One thing I do disagree with you last night, Coach, was you said that you didn't think it was leadership from Joe. And maybe you are right, because we talked about his mindset, right? His why is he doing what he's doing? Is it between the ears? Is he confident, or does he lack confidence? So I can see what you're saying, where Nico's in the huddle and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't let this kid go out there because I will never play again. And you can go back to when Hennon got the job, right? It's like he goes down hurt, Hennon gets the job, he never gets an opportunity. So I kind of see what you're saying there with that's a lack of leadership, but at the same time, I want my leader to say, no, I'm going to play. Injured or not, I want to be on the field.
Yeah.
So there's kind of this, what is really going on there?
And to be honest, we don't know. Let me be perfectly clear. None of us know. None of y'all in the chat know. That inner circle in that team, they know. We don't know.
And really, Joe only knows how he feels.
Real quick,
I will say one thing. Go ahead.
Does it seem like Joe Milton? I want him to succeed too, Coach. I was the biggest Joe Milton fan in the offseason, man. Kid put his work in. He's one of the best, hardest working kids out there, for real. And I mean, he's talented, really talented. But does it seem like Joe Milton is the guy you tell to go do this one thing, go do it perfectly at this one location, and we'll tell you what to do next, versus he's not exactly the quarterback kind of commanding leader you need on the field, as far as it just doesn't look right. And it's not that he's not a winner as a player, but he's not a winner as a quarterback as far as being able to put it all together, see it all at one time on the field. Like Hendon had that killer instinct. Dauber said it last week after the Florida loss. Hendon had that killer instinct, man.
Mm-hmm.
You give him one sniff of the football, and he's just going to in the game for you. But Joe Milton's like that really good athlete that goes to one spot, does one thing perfectly because that's what he was told to do.
So the question for me is there a guy on the bench that has that killer mentality? And there's a dude in my ear that tells me that he does, right? Like, I mean, it's the reality of this. Like, I love Joe. And, you know, it's the same thing as me and Dauber say it all the time. And I'm like, Dauber said, and Dauber's like, well, Boogie said, I don't care if Navy Schuler's playing quarterback, man. I just want the best guy to go in and succeed. But if a dude is on the bench that is a gamer and a killer and has that it factor like Josh Dobbs had, like Hendon Hooker had, then we need to give him an opportunity. And if Josh Heupel's scared that if we see a little glimpse, Nico didn't get a fair shake. Like, I know what Robert said earlier. Nico never got a chance to get off the ground Saturday night. We've not seen what Nico can really be. And I'm not a horrible human. I didn't want Joe to get hurt, but when Joe got hurt and Nico was in the huddle, I'm like, we're going to see it. We're going to see what the kid's got. Yeah. And then Joe's like, nope. I'm back in there. And then again, I fall in love even more with Nico because Nico's like, get back in there, Joe. You go do it. And it's like, you couldn't. And, you know, the same thing as Joe. You couldn't ask for a better teammate than Joe Milton. But the same thing for Nico.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick. What happens if on South Carolina, during the South Carolina game, and this will make Coach J's day, if Joe
you Nico lover.
Hey, if Joe for like I don't, Lord forbid this happen, but has like a mild concussion, can't come back for the rest of the game, but he'd be good to go for the next week. Yeah. Nico goes out there, throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and just goes off. What?
Yes, sir.
You ride with, and you ride with.
What do they do next Saturday? What do they do next Saturday?
It's Hendon Hooker all over again.
You know, the converse is true too, though, guys. I want to understand. Like, I have a lot of faith in Nico, and you know, I've seen him up close in person. I know people in the coaching tree. Blah 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 blah. Right, but when Joe was 14-16 that first half, I was hooping, hollering, yelling around, cheering for him.
So Joe,
babe, he's figured it out. Look, this is the Josh Heupel offense. We got this. Let's go. Guys, I cannot stress it enough. I just want whoever is best for this team, period.
I'm tired of losing. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly, Robert.
I'm tired of losing. Like, we've been on this for what, 15 years?
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of losing.
Yeah, no, I think.
And they should have beat Florida. They should have beat Florida. There's no excuses for losing to Florida. None.
No.
Well, it's just like Clemson with Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. I mean, what Kelly Bryant gets hurt, Trevor Lawrence comes in. They say he's the GOAT for Clemson, not for us. But I'm just saying that situation, that scenario, if Nico came in, showed out, there's no way they couldn't leave Nico in the game. There's Knox forward right. It'd be, the coaching thing all over again a couple years ago when Knoxville just, burnt the ground down.
Let me hit some super chats real quick. We're going to get back into it. Donovan for 5. Good to see you in the chat, Donovan. He's an OG as well. Donovan went to bat for me in the Facebook group. He's like, anybody questioning Boogie? This dude live streamed a loss to Georgia State. Donovan's always got my back. Good to see you in the chat, brother. Running game. Being at home at night, defense will have 5 sacks, balls 31, South Carolina 23. I think that's a good assessment. Running game is going to play a huge factor. I think the crowd is going to play a huge factor.
Hey, let me talk to you about that real quick.
Yes, I was not got to talk at all.
I was there at the game yesterday, and it is true. It felt like half the crowd left in the third quarter. But I think there's a bigger issue than that right now, and it's that dang club seating in the front. Because at any given point, like half that place is empty because they're all sitting there in the club under.
Is that the rich people?
Yeah. The blue hairs and all the rich people down there, right there behind the home bench. Like, there should be a lot of noise in that area, and there's not because they're half missing at any given point in the game because that stupid club section under the seating is open all game.
It's about money.
Are they that?
How
much more are those tickets, guys? I'm not in the area, so I'm not constantly shopping for tickets. What are they going for? Those club seats? Anyone?
Let me look.
Like I think I'm right next to him. I'm like
$400
X1, I think, right, kind of right by him, I believe, something like that.
I'm sure they're all season ticket holders.
Yeah, right. You would imagine. Think so, right?
It's
there.
a lot more than when the stadium opened. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now for the South Carolina game, cheap seats are $221.
Ooh, yeah. I love that.
And if you're sitting in those seats, they're $405.
In those seats,
the cheapest one for those seats is $405.
Yeah, I think I paid like $360, something like that for my seats, something in that range, something around there.
JJ says BVS is a woke excuse for some Vol fans to excuse their bad behavior. Sometimes I question you, man. Sometimes I wonder if you're even a freaking Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
Like, I see the way that you act in the Facebook group, and I'm like, well, are you here for yourself or are you here for Tennessee? Like, sometimes woke? It's a woke excuse? What, like?
Yeah.
Sometimes I question. I call
BVS is a real condition, man. BVS is a real condition. It's real. To make fun
I
of
was
it,
diagnosed it.
Horrible thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Officially
by a doctor. Yeah, by a doctor.
We need to film a public service announcement or something for it. We can interview how BVS has affected our lives.
That's the perfect song. It's real, man. It's why the South Carolina game, right? We're all like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Vegas has us favored by what did we say? 10.5,
11.5,
and we're all like, oh my gosh, it's the biggest game ever. We're gonna suck. We're gonna get killed. It's like. What if I told you? What if I told you? You know, I mentioned the rushing stats earlier. What if I told you that Tennessee is going to play a team on Saturday, and you guys had no idea who I was talking about? And I said in their last couple of games, they lost to North Carolina, and it wasn't basketball. Tom, it wasn't basketball. It was football. So just so you know, I just want to make sure you know it wasn't basketball. It was football. They lost to North Carolina. They beat Furman. They hung with Georgia, man, defending national championships, right? They're gamers. And they beat Mississippi State. But then we talk about running the football, and they are the worst rushing football team in the SEC. They run the football for 75 yards a game. That's it. And meanwhile, I told you, we lead the SEC in rushing yards at 229. And I didn't tell you what the team's name was. You'd be going, is that Vanderbilt?
Man,
was that? But all of a sudden, because it's South Carolina, battered Vol syndrome, it's real, man.
Look,
it's real. I don't care what idiots in the chat.
You just got to remember.
You're talking about the veil of ignorance. Yeah. John Rawls. That's a real thing. When South Carolina comes up into it, my granddad's a South Carolina grad, and his spirit comes back every year now that he's passed on to help South Carolina when they play us, because we used to watch the games together. He does. Man, he comes back every year. He helps them out.
Anytime a South Carolina fan comes up to you with that nonsense from last year, all you got to do is just remind them that Tulane has more SEC championships. Georgia Tech has more SEC and ACC championships. They are the eternally mid team in the SEC. They have one BCS game to their name, and that was when Steve Spurrier was there. One of the I hate to say this, but one of the greatest SEC coaches to ever have. And the best they could do was one New Year's Six game.
Didn't their best running back transfer to the real USC?
Yeah,
I think he did. I think he's over there now.
Yeah, Marshawn Lord.
Yeah.
Let me jam some super chats real quick. Wayne Starnes for 5 says, just shaking my head. And he drops all the emojis. He came in right in the middle of the Nico Joe Milton debate. So Wayne's probably like, what is happening here? Timothy McGee for 5. Our sports writers need to hammer that and say it is 38-14. Why didn't you play Nicole? Who's Nicole, Timothy? Who's Nicole? To get him reps. I'm just kidding.
Nicole's actually the woman that's in that picture of Joe that's on the internet today.
I was gonna share that. I was like, you want me to do that now, Gary? I can do it now because I saw this on VolQuest and I was like, the YouTuber in me was like, do I go make a video of this? And I was like, I can't. I'll get sued or some nonsense will happen. So this was apparently at the UT Medical Center around noon today. If you zoom in, which it's really hard to do because Twitter kind of messes it up, it's 100% Joe Milton in the UT Medical Center.
Did they ever classify the injury, Boogie? Have they yet? Anyone
I've not
know?
seen anything, but they were going to do an MRI. But that's very normal, right? That's very normal for college football. Yeah. It's not. I don't.
Maybe it's his NIL union rep. You never know, man. I mean, now when they're professional athletes, they got to have somebody with them at the hospital to make decisions for them.
I mean,
he's
the
got to have
speculation is she's a trainer.
On the sideline. Yeah,
is it a trainer? I mean, I mean, you can't see her from the front, but I'm just speculation would say. Who is she? I don't know. But, like, you know, it's normal for him to go get an MRI. Like, but what do you guys think? I could totally see a torn meniscus. Like, when I tore my meniscus originally, like, my knee would lock up. Like, my knee would lock up and pop, and I would get it back in place, and I would be fine. Like, it would be a little stiff, a little tight, but I would be fine. Okay, what is going on? Is that Bob making all the noise? Who's making all the noise?
No, Bob's on mute.
All right,
is it snakes?
Whoever was heavy breathing has cleaned it up.
Snakes on a plane.
They gave a good 63
on
effort.
A plane.
Good 63 effort. They muted. We're good. We'll roll forward. When I tore my meniscus, it was so weird. Like it popped, and the dude I was training with was like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know. It was weird, but it feels fine now." And it was just stiff and tight. But then the more I continued to work through it and continue to train like an idiot, the worse it got. So if Joe tore his meniscus, he could easily go to the locker room at halftime, put on an e-brace, and be like, okay, it's a little stiff, it's a little tight. I'm going to go play. But then what happens this week? What happens next week? I thought, obviously, I know he struggled after the injury. What do you guys think? Well, let's go from top to bottom. Coach, down to Tom, and then everybody just chime in. What do you think?
I just hope he's healthy, man, because no matter where you lie with Joe, I think we all can agree when he's got his legs available to him, he's a better quarterback. So I think we want to have full Joe available. We don't want to get caught in this little vanilla offense and just throwing the same old pass or the same old run play over and over again because Joe's limited. We want to see the real Joe Milton, please stand up and good Joe. And I want to see him put two good halves together. And I think he only does that if he's healthy. So I want to see him healthy and I want to see him, put it all together and finish out this season strong. I totally get why the coaches want that. Every hypo quarterback from the beginning of time has benefited from an extra year in the system. I think the same is true of Nico. I think that's what these coaches are thinking. I believe and have faith in these coaches, and I want to see Joe healthy so he can get the run that he needs.
You got a future Vol for life there on your lap, man.
Yeah, I love.
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
look
future
at that.
Vol for life, right here, man. He's got to tell us about what he thinks about the Tennessee game this coming week.
I was like, "What are you talking about?" Then I saw what you guys were talking about. I was like, "Joe? Are y'all talking about Joe? Like, what are y'all talking about?"
He's definitely a future Vol for life. Y'all see his moves.
Well, can the young man tell us a little bit about how he'd coach the offense better?
Yeah, is he a Nico or a Joe guy? Is he a Nico or a Joe guy?
Yeah.
He's a Nico guy. He's a young guy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There you go.
That's a youth. Okay,
Starting them off right. Realism, not optimism. Realism always works better.
Right.
Yeah, y'all hear it? There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I just heard him say put Nico in.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
That's what I heard.
It sounds
Nico. Let's go, Nico.
Actually, what I heard is Coach Jay is rude and inappropriate, and we need to fire him.
And I'm ready to run through a brick wall for this kid.
Agreed.
Yeah,
go.
Get him in the locker room this weekend. Let's
he
change
will
gears.
be there.
Let's change gears from the injury to. I want to go back. We were talking about it earlier when Joe comes running out of the tent. Right, if you're the head coach and your quarterback, his knee gets wrapped up and why did we go back to Joe? Is it because what Coach Jay's saying, we're scared that Nico is going to create a controversy? Rocky Top Rules, why did they put Joe? What would you have done if you're the head coach and your quarterback just got sacked, knee got bent up? Would you send him to the locker room and say, hey, you're done for the day. It's 31-0. Don't worry about it. We're going to play Nico and everything's going to be all right.
You know, I told you, I think I've told you all this before. I coach football out here in West Tennessee on the offensive side. And, you know, I had a situation like that last year where my quarterback, we were up 28-0, a game that, you know, was pretty much over. And my senior quarterback, you know, he's going for, you know, trying to break school records. But I'm like, I pulled him over the side. I'm like, dude, it's not worth it. I know, you know, records are records, but let's get we had a sophomore quarterback come. He's our starting quarterback now. And I'm like, this is who we're going to put in for the rest of the game. The game's over. And sure enough, the senior QB he ended up taking the leadership of it. And, you know, the whole time over on the sideline, he's over there. I see him over there coaching the rest of the game. And I think that was big for us the rest of the season, and then big for us coming into this next year for that QB to get that experience. So for me personally, I would have let Nico in the game and see what he could do. Not shut off the offense where we're, you know, handing the ball off and doing all that. Let the young guy play, and let's see what he has.
And Joe would have done the same thing. He'd have sat on that sideline and coached him.
I think you would have too. I really do.
I guarantee it, he would.
Yep.
That's what I like about
I got to start calling both y'all coach as well, man. Get your respect out here, coach.
Rules got to change.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've been disrespecting y'all.
Give me a different initial, Coach. I don't know. You know, so I can put it all together.
I got you.
Sports Talk J, Coach J, BVD. It's nothing but initials. I mean, come on. How much?
I'm just kind of curious if Tom and Rocky Top Rules are related since they have the same first and middle names.
No, we just have the best names out there, man. We really do. If you got Rocky Top name, you got the best name out there.
So I changed mine to Rocky Top Bentley because everybody calls me Booger and they think it's original and funny. And I'm like,
well, see, my actual name is Jonathan. So
let's call you Coach.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So you're named after the greatest coach. Well, the second greatest.
The greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
We got an offensive coach and a defensive coach. We need to find something to do in the film breakdowns with that.
Well, no, I'm only
what about special teams?
Yeah,
so that's what I do.
There you go, tough guys.
So you're a special teams coach. So we got it all covered. So, you know.
There you go.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm the head coach. Coach Jay's going to coach a little defense. Rocky Top Rules is going to coach a little offense. Robert's going to coach a little special teams. We got a full team together.
All right. I guess I'm conducting the marching band. We're good. There we go.
No, you are the media guy. You're in the bunker. You're in the bunker down there. You got your media team around you.
No, man. I have a music
I'm just a mascot.
Well, speaking of mascots, hey, what's going on with Smokey Boog? You said something earlier, right before you let us in.
Yeah,
he's afraid of crowds.
Anxiety.
11 is afraid of crowds.
Basically, yes. He's got anxiety, and they're going to say, "Screw your anxiety. Get out there and figure it out, dog. Go."
Give him a damn Valium.
Yeah, exactly.
So how old
They're bringing back.
He's got to be a pup, right? He's got to be young because he just replaced Smokey 10. So I would imagine
he's got post-traumatic Pruitt disorder. That's what he's got.
He's one of those COVID babies, right? I'm pretty sure I had COVID 3 weeks ago, and now my head just spins.
He's gonna get the checkerboarded gaiter that Pruitt would wear all the time. Put it over.
Don't put it over your mask. It goes over your ears, Coach.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what.
I feel like I.
All right, let me hit some super chats. Good God, I love this show. I love the fan call-in show. There's no expectations. It's like an NCAA night dialed up to 100. Timothy McGee for 2 says Nico. Put Nico in. Ollie for another 2 says, and there's 7,000 wild students who can't get seats. I'm assuming that's talking about the guys, the blue hairs down there on the front row. Negavall for 5. Appreciate that. If Joe absolutely balls out against South Carolina, we win by 21 or more. Do we still have the Nico conversation the rest of the season every week? Doesn't matter if we win by 21, 28, 42. Yeah. Doesn't matter. We're going to be talking about Nico.
Quarterback sexy.
Just
But
always.
it's not even that.
Just
It's
to throw
the
it in
number
there.
one quarterback, number one player in the country, right?
Yeah,
As
they're
somebody
always gonna
who
be sexy,
wants
no
to
matter
see
what
We're
happens.
sitting here. I mean, gents, we're sitting here worrying about quarterbacks. We need to clean up that special teams play. Like, are
Amen.
you kidding me?
Says the special
Amen.
teams coach.
You lying?
Where do we get that punter? Wish.com?
Bro, that
Are you
punter
kidding
has
me?
been
Hey,
Not even
yeah.
Timu. Not even Timu.
Yeah.
Wish.com.
Punter has
Pump
been
the
bad.
brakes. Let me hit the super chats. VFL Willie for 2. Is DSamp RB1 next week? Also is right. Okay. I want to come back to that. I want to talk about the running back room. Timothy McGee for 2. Sorry, autocorrect. I meant Nico. You didn't have to pay $2.
Glad he
We
paid
knew
for
who
that
you meant,
autocorrect
Timothy. We
there.
appreciate it. VFL Logan B for 5. Just remember, you can't watch the game before you play the game. So you don't win the game before you lose the game. So you has to listen to the game to win.
Man, but we
wish
ain't
I
talking
was
about
All
the
right, Bush
game.
Jones, calm
We
down.
ain't talking about
We're
the
talking
game.
about
We're talking
practice.
about practice.
I have to play the clip.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
Play that.
Did anybody else just puke? Come on. Did anybody else just
Dude, I saw a guy. I saw the most confused guy ever at Neyland yesterday. He had a Tennessee shirt on and an Arkansas State hat.
Have you seen the picture of the Tennessee fan with a Georgia sticker on his cell phone? That's floating around from the game yesterday.
I think you need to play the clip.
No,
Boogie.
that's a picture of an idiot. That's
I don't
not a
believe
good-
there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
There's not.
Let's talk about the running back room. Let's talk about, Dylan Sampson. I don't know if it's a coming out party. Dylan Sampson's played good football. Didn't get a single carry last week. I know that, a lot of people pissed about that. But when you look at yards per carry, I think Jabari Small's playing good football. And it's not me saying Dylan Sampson doesn't need to carry the rock. I love all three guys. Like, we got a loaded running back room. Tom, what do you think about how Dylan Sampson played? Yeah, we got more than 3, but
he proved he can run the ball against a nobody, that's for sure. He's a penned-up cheetah against air. But you know what? He's a good-looking running back, and if he can actually get behind the offensive line when they dig in and they keep their feet underneath them, he can make space. He can make space. Jalen Wright, he can run to space, but Sampson looks like he can make a little bit of room. I mean, he squeezed through some spots yesterday. I've been deer hunting before and wondered how the hell did a deer get into that spot? Because you got, you can't get in there but with so much space. And, yeah, he can squeeze out.
He hits the deep ball a little better, too.
Yeah.
I really think it's right one, Sampson too. I know that Jabari's done a lot of good stuff for us, but I don't know. I just don't know that he's a good fit for the way our running game works.
Yeah. Well, I got one more thing that I got to get out the door. What I would say is Jalen Wright is obviously running back 1 when he's healthy.
Yep.
But if I was watching that slaughtering of the Denver Broncos just a little bit ago. Sure. The Miami Dolphins do something very interesting. I know it's completely different offenses and it's not even similar, but they often have 2 running backs on the field at the same time. And I know with our tempo, it's hard to do that. But, getting Jalen Wright and Dylan Sampson on the field at the same time in the backfield, I think that would create matchup nightmares for linebackers that face up against us. And that's just something I would love to see. I know it's hard with our tempo and the way we love our 11 personnel, but it's really tough. Puts a lot of stress on the defenses when you got 2 freakish athletes in the backfield. And they both can run the ball and receive the ball. And it's just something I would like to see going forward. But yeah, I think Dylan Sampson is definitely running back number 2 as far as talent goes. Now, Jabari Small, we all know, is the senior guy. But, yeah, I definitely would like to see Dylan Sampson get more touches, even when Jalen Wright's healthy. But, yeah, I got to head out, guys. Got to get that little one to bed. So I'll talk to y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.
Always good time. Thanks jumping on.
As far as I go, as far as I'm seeing the running back room, I saw Sampson just pull off some beautiful cuts. and he made guys miss. He never got hit. He never got taken down by the first tackle. He broke every first tackle yesterday. And when they talk about, you remember back at the Virginia game, they said they're going to split it up 40-40-20 with Dillon getting 20% of the carries. I think they need to go more evenly, maybe 40-30-30, and just go with that route.
I think they just need to go with the hot hand, right? Like that's something they said they're going to do. Dylan Sampson was the hot hand yesterday, so just feed him. And there's been times where Jalen Wright was the hot hand. I think I said this last night too. I think Dylan Sampson's way better in the open space. I think he makes guys miss. I think Jalen Wright is very patient and lets the holes, create, and then he gets north and south once that hole's there. And I think Jabari Small is just underrated. I think a lot of Tennessee fans don't respect Jabari Small the way they should. So maybe that's why I kind of poke the bear and argue with you guys a little bit, because I think Jabari Small is a guy that's not been able to stay healthy. And I think he's playing good football. He's got 42 carries for 258, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. He's playing good football. And then the Vulture, shout out to Kaner for coming up with that nickname. The dude's got 5 touchdowns, 27 carries. He has 5 touchdowns. It's a good problem to have, boys. I love the fact that we can come on here and argue which running back's better, because we got 3 really good ones, and we got a couple of good ones in the waiting, right? Cam Seldon, Khalifa Keith. We got.
I don't know that we'll
see
see Cam Seldon for a little bit after yesterday, though.
No, I don't.
He could be good.
He
could be really good. Yeah, what was that exactly?
But I don't think that impacts the way he plays running back, right?
Oh, no, but I think he'll be in the doghouse for a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah,
I hope so, because it doesn't seem like Josh Heupel's got a doghouse for anybody. And I love Coach just as much as the next Tennessean. But still, I mean.
I know Dylan Sampson was in it last year for a little bit after he missed that block at LSU.
Do you think he was in it last week? Why did Dylan Sampson not get a single carry last week? And they said it was just the pace of the game. I don't buy into that. Was he in the doghouse last week?
No, I'm not buying.
So when you're calling plays
for 1 minute,
when you're calling plays and it's not going your way, or it's a tight game, you want to stick with the hot hand, or you want to stick with what you feel good about. And I guess he just didn't get his cleats in the ground. I mean, for lack of a better phrase, he didn't get on the field. And maybe they should have. Maybe they did all right.
So what if? I mean, honestly, what if?
I think he was a doghouse for some reason. They would have rotated him in. He's been rotated in on every game until last week.
Not a single carry, Bob. Not one carry.
He didn't even come in. He didn't even come in for a blocking assignment.
Yeah, nothing.
He did not see the field at all.
That's a good question right
yesterday?
there that comes up from your comment, Bob. Who's our best blocking back?
What's that?
Who's our best blocking back?
Yeah, what did he have yesterday? 2 carries for 2 touchdowns? Or not carries, sorry. 2 touchdowns? Really? Why are we not going with that? Why?
I don't look at touchdowns as much as I look at yards per carry. Yards per carry, and then Tom brings up a good question. Who a lot of times these young guys, and Dylan Sampson's a sophomore?
Jabari Small is probably the best blocking back.
I think Small. I think that's overlooked. People don't want to talk about pass protection for a running back because it's not sexy, but it's important, man. And I think Jalen Wright's pretty good at it too. I think Jalen Wright's the best running back on this football team, and people can argue. Oh, God.
It was just like Jabari Small was in there on the first play.
How you gonna derail the entire thing?
That's just like
Man, Coach Pruitt is in the chat over here.
Nobody ordered McDonald's round here, son. It's all
it's Chick-fil-A. It's the Lord's chicken.
It's
the Lord's
Fire
chicken.
Heupel.
Get it right.
Okay.
Fire Heupel. From bubble screens. Right. Run, dive all game.
Who invited the
picks?
Well, here's the thing. First play of the game yesterday, and Small was in there, and he pulled a beautiful block that broke Milton open to run down that sideline.
Yes, he did.
That's why that blocking back is important. That's why they got to be able to do both jobs. I've not seen Sampson do that much, and maybe that's why he's not getting as many plays.
Oh
well,
my gosh.
And also
Elijah,
they need to
calm
run
down.
that read option more. They need to run the option with Joe. You got a 6'4", 240-pound quarterback who can boogie. And, I mean, the guy has got wheels. Yeah, I did.
They didn't say Booger.
Yeah.
Oh.
He can get it, man. I mean, he outrun the secondary player. And now the secondary player didn't take a good angle on him, but still, he outran
corners and safeties both.
Yeah.
Like I can plug this show because they do it every week. The halftime show with Jonathan Crompton over at A to Z Sports. I listen to it every week. I love listening to that halftime show. I tell Charlie when he comes on the show, I'm like, I love your halftime show. And Crompton's like, I'm going to piss everybody off. Joe Milton's faster than Hendon Hooker. And it's like, I think he does have more top end speed. He doesn't have the elusiveness, right? And Joe's never gonna. When we talk about Joe keeping the ball, he's never gonna make some dude miss in the open field and make a 5-yard run into a 15 or a 20-yard or a 60-yard run. But he's fast once he gets to that top end speed. Let me hit some super chats. Got to hit.
He's gonna make them. He's gonna make them create a new angle. Is what he'll do.
Julian Belk for 5. Appreciate the super chat. Coach Jay, I live in Saints Clarita, California. I need to catch one of your games. What team do you coach? Do you want me to take this or do you want to take it, Coach?
I told Julian already in the chat. For those of you who are out here and interested, or anyone interested, DM me. Happy to share it. I do like to keep it away from the trolls because I have had a kid bothered already by a troll. So I, just in interest of the kids, if you DM me and I know you and you got that power tee, I'd be more than happy to tell you, and you'd love to have you at a game.
You handled that way better than I did. I was going to be so aggressive. I
love that. No, I'm all for it. I told you, Boogie, you can, come on down. Just DM me, please, and I'll let you know.
Are you going to pay for my?
And as long as you're not, certain people in the comment section the other day, I'll probably tell you there's a couple trolls.
It's weird. I timed that guy out.
I don't want bothering my kids.
I timed him out for 5 minutes.
That's been my main thing always.
He didn't come back. Why didn't he come back? He showed up just to yell at you. It's weird. It's weird.
I don't know what I said yesterday. Apparently, I was.
It's because you're from California.
I was mean. Yeah, I'm woke.
Coach,
I voted for Hillary, and I'm woke, and none of that's true. I just.
Well, JJ said we're woke because we have battered Vol syndrome. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
All right, so everybody sit tight and shut up. I gotta be a freaking dictator. Talking about. I gotta be a dictator. Wayne Starnes for 5. Hope Wright is okay. We got 3 good running backs, but only 2 with elite speed, and the one that don't is small. I don't even know that Jalen Wright has elite speed. I really don't know that he does either. Let's see. Straight up Vol for 5. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. Hey, we will always accept that. Appreciate that super chat. Wade Rouse for 5. Had to jump off. My man cave is still in the works, and this Mississippi heat was about to kill me out there. Can't wait to be back in Tennessee this week. GBO. Wade didn't even get to talk. Do you understand? Like, the more you guys, look. Rocky Top Tom is on here every fan call-in show. Bob's on here every fan call. If you're going to come on a fan call-in show, you better be able to push and get people to shut up. And I love it. I'm here for it. I love when you guys fight for your spot. Wade's got to learn to do that. That's what a fan call-in show is all about. You got to say, hey, shut up. I'm talking. I'm going to get mine in.
It's a battle royal, man. You got to go for it.
It is. We got to balance each other out, though. You got to let other people talk, but you got to fight for your spot. And if you don't, you'll just get buried. And if you do, you'll be hosting a post-game show coming up on Saturday like Dustin's going to be doing. Timothy for 5. Appreciate that, brother. I'm telling with our 3 running backs wishbone, and it's easy for O-line to move, run block, and pass block. We're not running the wishbone, Timothy.
Bro, let's just go to the wing tee. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back. General Nealand, run to the checkerboards. All right.
Yeah.
We're caught up on super chats. Christopher, you just popped in. What's up, buddy? How you feeling tonight? You're muted. You're muted, if you don't realize.
Muted.
Bro, he's feeling.
You better hurry. You're gonna get railroaded if you don't speak.
That's a hell of a
I'm out.
No, he's out. He's out. No, I'm done.
Stage fright. Cannon, Carter,
All right,
so nothing to say. Just a super chat. Appreciate that, brother. Go ahead, Robert.
Let's circle back to the special teams play. Are you freaking kidding me?
Special teams coach in here.
Yeah, right. Are you freaking kidding me?
I was pissed too,
Why
Robert.
would you dive for a ball that is not your possession and you go and dive for it and give
especially one that was blocked?
Yes.
Sorry, effing play. Pardon.
Oh, wow. I didn't even catch that you dropped the F-bomb. We just got demonetized. I'm going to need
Robert,
$50 super chat right now.
You gotta be aware.
Stand by.
You don't have to really do it on the show.
I think we're far enough into the stream. We'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah, we're fine.
But yeah,
I
Robert,
really don't
you're
think
exactly
Why would you
right.
do that?
Why would you do
my
that?
only
You have to have
my
awareness.
only guess
Yeah.
is that he just had a brain fart on like what the rules of a blocked kick were, and he thought it was a live ball.
Yeah, yeah.
There can't be any of that. I'm telling you.
What do you guys
Frank
think about
Beaver-
Eckler as a special teams coach? Honestly,
Oh, love him. Love him.
I love Eckler's
Yeah.
energy, but what do you think about fundamentals?
If you make the mistake one time, that's okay. Don't make it again. But there
If you
have
make
been
it again,
mistakes
it's a habit,
made
and
on
you-
special
Yeah, I don't-
teams. Yeah,
I don't think
there
we
have
have
been
anything
mistakes
that.
made. We fumbled the punt against who was it? We
Virginia.
fumbled the punt against UVA, I think.
That's not
That
coaching, though,
hasn't-
right? Yeah, I mean,
that
you
hasn't
can't-
been repeated, and that's not coaching. And then we had that mistake yesterday, and that was not coaching. That was just a brain fart, like he said. If you
Yeah.
see any of these repeated mistakes, though, you got to pull the kid and be like, hey, look, man, you're sitting the bench for the next little bit, and you're going to watch how somebody else does it. And if you can critique them, then maybe you can use that critique on the field. Then there you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
Honestly,
What I don't
Collins
understand is
coach
why.
thinks that I'm going to bring this kid in and I'm going to tell him, hey, don't you ever touch that ball again. Move out. Let's go.
100%.
Well, here's
You
my
guys
thing.
touch my-
Go
Go ahead, Beth. Go ahead.
I'll actually give. I'll just give UTSA a little bit of credit. Their punting and their kicking, they did well because Williams never got a chance to really take off and run with that ball.
Yep.
They were on him when he caught it. It was fair catches all night long. And I don't know what the line team was doing, if they were not getting that first hit in the block to slow him down or not, but they were all over him. So I don't know if it was a breakdown on our side or if they were just doing that well.
I thought they were coming after punts a little more, and maybe that's why they didn't have a little more protection back to block for D. I mean, they were decent punts anyway on hang time. Yeah, no, with Seldom, did anyone catch Heupel's comments about it in his little presser after? No, he was just basically like, yeah, I hate it for that kid. I think he's going to be a special football player at Tennessee. He always makes good plays in practice. He's a hustler. And I absolutely hated that moment for him, but it's a teachable moment, and he's going to have to be able to fail forward. Was kind of his thought.
What thing you could say about it? It was a hustle play.
Development.
You could see that fear sunk in. He thought, okay, we blocked it. It's past the line of scrimmage. If they recover it, it's their football. And he immediately, like everybody else is like standing around, and he's like, like it's beeline to the football to try to recover it. So again, teachable moment, right? A freshman.
And it's better to have those teachable moments in a UTSA than it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it happened in the right game. Yeah, that's a
Absolutely.
fact. You don't want to happen
And
in
can we
South
talk
Carolina.
about him for a second? Just for a second, Coach Heupel. There's some people who are doubting Coach Heupel. There are.
Not me.
No, not me.
I've been.
Yeah, I know.
Not me.
I consume every bit of Tennessee media that's out there. And there are people who, because of how this year has looked uncomfortable, I guess you could say, from the pocket, people are saying, oh, well, is he a great evaluator of talent? Is he a good play caller? Was it just that we're missing Hendon Hooker and Mike Golish and Jalen Hyatt that much? Coach Heupel's a great coach. I just want to get that out the way right now. That's been something that's been digging under my skin this entire time. And even after the game yesterday, even though we beat UTSA, who's nothing, people were still saying, oh, well, he can call that. And they did have one little point. Yeah, we ran a lot of screen passes. But still, Coach Heupel has us further than we ever could have imagined in 3 years. Just 3 years, okay? So anybody who has anything bad to say about Heupel can take a hike.
But let me ask you, Tom,
I mean,
where are you
Absolutely.
seeing that noise? Where are you seeing that noise?
Just other stations, other channels.
So like YouTube and like,
So
yeah,
because I see a lot of it on Facebook.
Yeah,
and you got to
I
realize
see a lot
how
on
many-
Facebook.
Like how many
On Facebook.
I truly think that this channel, like you got everybody on like that comes on the fan call-ins, and the majority of the people in the chat of this channel are dialed in and understand what this football team is. You go to Facebook, there's a lot of, in the words of Josh Pate, casuals, right? They're like, oh, I love my balls. Oh, you questioning my balls? You're a negative ball. It's like, well, no. I'm watching Tennessee, and I'm questioning certain things, but I still trust Josh Heupel. I think he's a great recruiter. I think he's a great coach. There's nothing wrong with criticism, right? But if you go to Facebook, there's a lot of just casual fans. And I'm not insulting casual fans. Look, casual fans are why Tennessee has one of the biggest fan bases in the country, because we need those casual fans, but they don't live, sleep, breathe it like you do, Tom. They're not waking up and listening to Eric Kane in the morning and seeing what Boogie has to say and seeing what Coach Jay has to say, and then jumping over to VolQuest and listening to them, and then going to Go Vols 247, seeing what they're saying. Like, you're dialed in. You're dialed in and getting all these opinions. There's a lot of casual fans that have no idea what is going on with this football team.
And I said that to give just a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a, hey, Pop, we love you, kind of a nudge. You got to throw it downfield more. Coach Jay, I think, might have said something about this earlier in the stream, way early. You can't rely on that screen. We ran so many screen passes in 4 games, and teams are looking for it. They're looking for our shift into the screen. They're looking for our formation that we start out if we don't shift into the screen. And you got to run that as like the once, maybe every 2 series or type kind of a play. And that's my only criticism from Coach. Love you wherever you are, Coach. You're the man. But
he's listening. Don't worry, he's listening.
No,
he loves this channel.
Well, here's one thing. Here's one thing. During the entire offseason, everybody's talking about Heupel's, offensive schemes, plug and play, plug and play, plug and play. You just put any player in there that'll work. Well, now you're seeing it's not. It takes elite players to pull it off. And they have to be elite at that time, including the quarterback, the running backs, the receiving team. Now, we've seen greatness come out of Milton, but not on a consistent basis. We've seen it out of our receivers. Some of those catches we've seen so far this year were just short of immaculate. But we need that consistency. But it's going to prove right now it's not a plug-and-play system. It can be, but it's not automatic like everybody was saying. So we're not hearing that statement anymore. I have not heard it on anybody's channel.
Agreed.
And since the season started.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I do think that the bubble screen, Tom, has been good, and it's been hot and cold for us, right? Like, when we were running it early yesterday and we were kind of going sideline to sideline, and then it opens up that vertical, right? It serves that purpose. But there has been times where it's been predictable. It's done its job at times too to stretch the field. And I think that's why it's showing a good average, but not maybe getting the overall effect that we're desiring over the time.
Could have been a pick
so,
six.
Yeah. And I do see that.
Beginning of the second half, I think.
Yeah.
If it'd been South Carolina or A&M or Alabama, that'd been picked off.
Yeah. And I will say this too.
It's good that he's trying to use it as a substitute for sometimes he feels like he can't run the ball. I swear. It feels as though he can't feel like he can run the ball, which he can. But the offensive line, I always go back
it works. If you get good perimeter blocking, it works. It is an extension of the run game, man, and it is how you spread out the defense, right? And then sometimes you need to fake it and take a shot, right? But then you got to connect on that shot, and that's where Joe really struggled in the second half. We had so many guys wide open, and that's a positive. It's a positive to see guys running wide open, right? But then it's like it's a huge negative when Joe can't. God, I feel like if I was playing quarterback, I could just be like, throw it out there. It's a touchdown. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, and for the record, guys, and I know Boogie said it too. Gosh dang it! Whenever you disagree with us, tell us, dang it. And a lot of you all in here I'm preaching to the choir with, but like, I love that when Robert brings up a point with Nico or you do with the screen and we talk. Gosh, I love that. Like, and everyone in this this True Talkin VAWLS community is really great at that. I just want to say
the key word.
I appreciate the heck out of that.
So let me bring up Heupel's record with UCF. All right. So Heupel, he floundered in his last year with UCF, running the same offense, running the same type of plays. Did he have playmakers? No, he did not. He did not absolutely have playmakers. Does he have playmakers in this offense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let me play devil's advocate to that.
Those playmakers aren't making quite as many plays as we would have thought that they would have.
Exactly.
His last year at Central Florida, too, you got to realize it was a COVID year, and he had a lot of guys that didn't play that year. That year, it's almost a free pass for Heupel for me in that year.
Yeah.
But I think they've got
whole
playmakers.
year doesn't exist. The whole year doesn't exist.
Yeah. It was not a typical Josh Heupel football team.
What we were talking about, man, Ramel Keaton, he caught a really nice ball. I mean,
he almost caught another one too when he got hurt.
But as a coach, you hate to think, but that one pass he missed against UVA, he just didn't catch it, didn't bring it in. He had, two really beautiful passes that he could have caught and just didn't quite bring them in. And
absolutely. You have to catch these catchable balls. If it's touchable, it is catchable. Period. Into discussion.
Yeah. It's been a
That's what my coach always told me.
Guys, I'm just going to take this second to apologize to all of All Nation because at the beginning to everyone.
Not
because
me?
at the beginning of the third quarter, I went to go get a drink in the stadium, and that's when those two
it went bad.
drives happened. And when I sat back down,
you're the guy. You're the guy.
After I sat back down,
didn't do it.
They didn't score again. So
Why didn't you text me before the day after video? I didn't know to include that.
All right, so Coach Jay and I, from what I'm understanding, Coach Jay and I need to sit in the same section, and we need to go get beers together.
I would love it, man. I want to talk football and hang out with all you guys.
I have a great story.
Damn right, brother.
Great story from yesterday. My brother and I went to one of the corporate tailgates or whatever. He's a plumber, so we went to the Ferguson tailgate. And my brother got pretty hammered before the game. It spends a bunch of money. I was the DD, so whatever. I was having a good time.
So you didn't have any fun.
But anyway, he's getting hammered in the stadium too. This random dude gets up to go get something to drink. We thought to go get something to drink, and my brother hands him $60 and was like, or maybe it was like $50. He's like, dude, go get me a couple of beers. We were like, bro, he's just gonna take off with your money, man.
I would have left the stadium.
This dude brought my brother 2 beers.
Straight up somebody. Nope. That's Tennessee right there, man.
And
then
Ball Nation
right there.
Ball Nation.
Never saw this dude again. After that,
You are in Neyland Stadium. You are a brother of the Vols.
I remember there was one time we were at a game, and you know how it is back in the day before they sold booze in the stadium, and we're in there and we're sitting there watching the game. Dude just pulls out something out of his boot. He's like, got it in his cup. He's like, bro, you want some of this? I'm like, heck yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
right out of his cup.
Man.
Like, it's not a fresh bottle. It's like right out of his glass. I'm like,
warm.
We're all of a sudden buddies. Like that's
damn right.
The beautiful thing.
Damn right.
What frustrates me though is to hear about the blue hairs. It's like, sit down, shut up. It's like, man, do you know how many times
football game?
Like me and Snake had season tickets for 2 years. I had season tickets with JP for a year. Snake almost got in a fight every time we were in that stadium because people would say, sit down, shut up. And I'm like, okay, whatever you say, Papaw. And Snake turns around and wants to fist fight people. And it's like, gosh, man, everybody needs to be on the same page, and most of us are. Let me jam some super chats. Cannon Carter for 2.
God love Snake, though. God love him.
I love his. He's full of. You think I'm full of piss and vinegar? He's way worse in public, especially. I got to tell another story, and then I'll read super chats after this story. I've told it before, but I'm gonna tell it again. Got 200 people watching. You may have never heard it. Coming out of the Derek Dooley bowl game, Music City Bowl. Me, Snake, JP, we all went together. We sat in different sections, but coming out of the game, right? It's where at the end, the field goal, all the nonsense, Tennessee loses, and North Carolina fans are talking trash to us. And we're walking, and Music City Bowl, North Carolina.
Bro, my brother almost went to jail that night.
So. We almost went to jail too because we're walking to the car, and these North Carolina fans are yap, 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 and I'm like, I'm just walking. Let's get to the car. Let's go home. Snake turns around. Here he goes. Yap, 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 yap. And they're nose to nose. And I finally pull him back. I'm like, shut your mouth. Let's get to the car. Let's go home. Let's calm down. We actually went to a bar, and he sobered up in a bar. But that's another story for another day. And we got to the bar, and I'm like,
possible.
Snake, what were you doing? Like, what would you have done if he had punched you in the face? He's like, I thought you would jump in. I'm like, let me tell you something, brother. If you are ever in a fist fight, I'm going to watch you, pardon my language, we're almost 2 hours into this. I'm going to watch you get your ass kicked unless another dude jumps in. Then I got your back. But if it's one-on-one, it's on you, bro. It's on you, bro. Like, it's he's like, well, I thought you would step in and whoop his ass for me. I'm like, nope, no.
Boogie's the manager, not the tag partner.
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
You started it, you finish it.
We ran into a Florida fan at this place called Twin Peaks, which is a nice little spot that you should visit in Knoxville if you ever haven't been there. After the Florida game that we lost 10-9 after we were winning 9-0. Basically. Yeah, I know it's the Butch Jones years, but yeah. So Florida fan starts talking some trash, starts yelling at everybody, the bartender, go Gators, all the chomp crap. And my buddy almost gets into a fight. And my friend is that big, okay? I mean,
it's always big. That dude, right? Yeah. It's always that dude.
I call him Napoleon, but yeah, I mean, he's that big. And he almost got into a fight with this kid. And I told him, I said, man, you get into trouble on your own until somebody jumps in on it. And yeah, just have a good time. It's supposed to be the family thing. When I was going to Neyland, when I was a kid, my stepdad brought me for my first game, and it was always a peaceable place. And then we started losing, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Alcohol makes everybody a tough guy, though. That's the problem. Yeah. Alcohol is the problem, not the person. The alcohol.
My brother wasn't like at the 2010 Music City Bowl. My brother wasn't even old enough to drink yet. He had just turned 18. He wasn't.
But he was
drinking.
3 sheets to the wind.
Bro, he was just so freaking pissed. That
yeah.
He wasn't even drinking?
No. This dude, this little North Carolina, this old man just is drunk and stumbling toward my brother, and my brother's pissed and he starts lowering his shoulder to body check the guy. I'm like, don't just stop.
Oh my gosh.
Typical North Carolina people, man. They get a little bit of moonshine in them and they don't know how to behave.
Hey.
No, I was talking about Bob the other night to my wife. I was talking about the fan calling show. I'm like, Bob's usually drinking straight up moonshine. Like, I love it. I love it.
Well, here's the thing. Now, 1998 Vanderbilt game, we played at Vanderbilt, and I took my daughter, her first Tennessee game, and she's dressed up in her Vols cheerleader outfit and all, and as we get ready to go out of we just won, we're walking out and we're going through the tunnel, and my daughter's up on my shoulder. She's going, it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. Everybody starts rocking, and there's a guy right beside her wearing a Vandy shirt and a Vandy hat. And he looks up at her, and I look over at him, and he throws his fist up there and says, give me a fist bump. Y'all did good tonight. She fist bumped him and says, better luck next year. I like to die. But for that, I had to take her around to the bus, and she actually got T. Martin to sign her cheerleading outfit.
There you go. That's
the dude probably had a Tennessee shirt on under his Vandy shirt.
Yeah, he was a fake Vandy
I have
fan.
seen that. Yeah. I've sat beside Vanderbilt fans who at halftime they come back. I come back after halftime and they've got a Tennessee shirt on.
Let me jam these last few super chats, and we're going to wrap it up. Call tonight. Cannon Carter for 2 was at the game yesterday. UTSA had some hogs, and then J-Vol 89 follows it up with 2 and says shouldn't talk about the UTSA cheerleaders like that. I don't condone this type of behavior. Timothy for another 5. Gosh, you all are terrible.
Buried.
Tony Basilio said that if Tennessee doesn't get O-line in the portal, that Heupel could be fired. It's a concern. They're going to have to hit the portal hard and heavy this offseason.
I like
Ollie for another 2, almost threw a pick 6 off a screen on our own 5. Yeah, that was at the beginning of the second half. It almost got taken to the house. Look, we got to wrap this thing up. We're almost 2 hours in. I love the fan call-in show. You guys are amazing. We do it every Sunday night. We do it every Saturday, an hour before kickoff. If you're saying, who are these idiots? How do I be a part of this? You can become a member of the channel. Hit the join button down below. If you want to give $1, that's it. If you like the content, the live streams, the videos, whatever it is, $1, commit to it. We would appreciate it. The more you give, the quicker you get on the show. Most of these guys are at the $10 level. Some people like Gary are like whining and saying, hey, when are you going to give it to us? $2.99, folk.
Hey, I'm a $5 folk.
Okay. Well, sometimes we get the $5 folk on as well. We always start with Talking Balls Elite. We go down the chain. But you guys, man, this is the heartbeat. I love this community. I love that we can, like Coach Jay said, if you disagree with us, disagree with us. It's a beautiful thing. Being able to come on, talk Tennessee football, voice our opinions. Nobody else is giving you this platform. BallQuest isn't doing it. GoVols 247 ain't doing it. Sports Talk Jay's not doing it. BVD's not doing it. Nobody else is doing it like we're doing it. This is the heartbeat of the Tennessee fan base. You want to be a part of it, hit that join button down below. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. For Coach Jay, for Rocky Top Tom, for Gary down in the bunker. He's got everything blurred out because he's a CIA agent. For Bob.
Or it's messy. It's messy.
One or the other. I think you're a CIA agent. I wonder about you. For Robert, this is the Talking Balls.
Hey, Coach Jay. Coach Jay.
Robert's got a
Hit
question.
me up when we're in Knoxville.
Yeah, everybody go stalk Coach Jay this weekend. He's going to be in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Go
I'll be shouting out where I am.
What game are you going to be at?
I am driving down
South
from
Carolina
Virginia.
game this
Let's go,
week.
brother.
Here comes the
This
heat.
week,
I wish I
South
had the money.
Carolina. Yeah, the South Carolina game this week. I'll be
Yeah.
in X1. I'll be at Calhoun's either Thursday or Friday night. I'm going to be around. I'm going to pop in and see Dauber and Wade and DM me and I literally want to say hi to as many people as I
DM
can.
you.
Man, I truly
What's
mean
DM?
that.
Oh,
Like
direct.
What the hell is that,
message
Gary?
Yeah,
Yeah,
slide
Twitter.
into his DMs. Be like, hey, Coach.
Yeah,
you wanna
slide
see
into my
this?
DM.
I'm like, hey, Coach, let me holler at you real quick.
This
What
is
is
all
it?
the social media I do. But you know
I
what?
know.
We killed
I
Boogie's
created
answer.
Twitter so I could talk to Boogie. That's like I didn't have it. Or anything
It
like
only
that.
took us a year. We just exchanged cell phone numbers for the first time last night. We've been working together for a year. For a freaking year. All right. We're out the door. I love you guys. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Kaner's going to be
Go
in
Vols,
the house.
baby.
We're
Go
gonna question
Vols!
him. We got tons of content coming your way. This is the Talking Balls Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big
Go
Orange.
Vols!
Go Big Orange.
Well,
that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and